This is the story of Brisbane, a small town with a heroic past and bright future. It's also the story of the Brisbane Baylands, the 660-acre former landfill and rail yard that separates Brisbane from Highway 101. Both modern Brisbane and the Baylands were formed from one of the Bay Area's greatest tragedies. Reeling from the 1906 San Francisco earthquake and firestorms, San Francisco carted millions of tons of still smoldering rubble to wetlands at the San Francisco County line. While workers filled the bay and created new flatlands next to the water's edge, builders flocked to the San Bruno hillsides. They named the new town Visitation City. On the Baylands, Southern Pacific Transportation Company built a rail switching yard and locomotive maintenance shop. In 1929, a man named Arthur Annis arrived. Popularly known as the father of Brisbane, Annis had a simple and popular idea: create a place where ordinary working people could build simple homes and independent lives. Annis also gave Visitation City a new name. Some say that Annis, who previously lived in Australia, looked across the new town and likened it to Brisbane by the Bay. Annis proved a visionary. Families hammered by the Great Depression flocked to Brisbane, where they could buy a lot for $1 down and $1 a week. To the north, fast-growing San Francisco had its own vision for Brisbane. The booming city to the north needed a place to dump its trash. So, in 1932, the Sanitary Fill Corporation created the Brisbane Landfill on the Baylands, next to the Southern Pacific Rail Yard. Over the next 35 years, the landfill would grow to 12.5 million square feet. Meanwhile, Brisbane bootstrapped itself out of the Depression and joined the war effort. Soon, a town of 2,500 before World War II doubled its size. Quarrymen dug slabs of rock for war-era construction projects, and welders assembled Liberty ships at the shipyards that dotted the San Mateo and San Francisco Bayfront. The Southern Pacific rail yards hummed with activity, carrying war materials up and down the peninsula. Today, those rail yards are gone, and the dump is closed. What remains at Brisbane Baylands is a clean fill operation that accepts clean dirt and gravel from Bay Area construction projects, and a very big question for the people of Brisbane: what to do with 660 acres of empty and underutilized land? The 660-acre Brisbane Baylands is one legacy of the great forces that shaped the San Francisco Peninsula during the first half of the last century: earthquakes, railroads, migration, and war. For the city of Brisbane, the Baylands also represents a unique opportunity to decide its own future. Most cities could only dream of having a piece of property like the Baylands under their control. With careful planning, Brisbane can reap great economic, recreational, and environmental rewards by restoring this unique site. The Baylands, now a landfill and one-time home to Southern Pacific Rail Yards, is the largest undeveloped parcel on the peninsula. It lies halfway between San Francisco International Airport and the city of San Francisco, with easy access to Highway 101, the Municipal Railway, Caltrain, and in the future, BART and Highway 280 via an improved Geneva Avenue. In years past, several development ideas have surfaced for the Baylands. None was met with a warm reception. They included everything from a low-slung auto dealer row to skyscraping office towers. More promising and more befitting the city of Brisbane and the Baylands is the outcome of recent community-driven land use planning efforts carried out by the city of Brisbane and the owners of the Baylands, Universal Paragon Corporation. The first phase of this planning effort culminated in February 2006 with the outlines of a development proposal that meets community goals for the property. That is, environmental restoration, creation of a new open space and development of recreational assets. These improvements would be funded by development of facilities for clean tech research and development, commercial office, retail, and entertainment uses. This development would provide a source of revenue to support public safety, education, and other vital government services in Brisbane. That plan, now under review by the city to gauge and eliminate unwanted impacts on Brisbane residents, would devote nearly half the property to parkland, open space, and lagoon and creek restoration. Meanwhile, northern segments of the Baylands, those furthest from Brisbane proper, would be developed to urban densities, with commercial space designed for entertainment uses and a business district oriented towards international commerce and trade with Asia. To the west, the historic Southern Pacific Railyard Roundhouse would be renovated as the fulcrum of a new clean tech office and research and development campus, built to the highest U.S. Green Building Council leadership in environmental and energy design program standards. To the south, Brisbane Lagoon would be just the largest element of more than 320 acres of public open space. These spaces include public parklands, athletic fields, riparian and waterfront trails, native grasslands and meadows, wildlife corridors, tidal and non-tidal wetlands, and urban plazas. But achieving environmental sustainability and meeting community development goals won't come without costs. The same seismic, industrial, and social forces that form the Baylands as we know it today also left significant challenges in the form of soil contamination and ground instability. Reuse of the property means cleaning up bunker fuel and other pollutants left behind by Southern Pacific rail operations and other industrial uses. Those costs alone are estimated to run between $100 and $200 million. Construction on the property, meanwhile, requires special engineering to withstand differential settlement, the effect of soil sinking at different rates, which is common at former landfill development sites. To be sure, Baylands represents unprecedented opportunity for Brisbane to secure a future of environmental, economic, and social prosperity. But public benefits will have to be paid for through commercial development and shared public and private investment.